Hey, crypto heads. I did it again. Hey, crypto heads. It's the Goose with the Cryptic Paranormal Show. Welcome to another awesome episode. We're going to continue with the theme of talking to people that either that own, work at, or volunteer at some of our local favorite haunted locations. Couldn't think of any better person to have on than Brooke WAGATHA from the Wildwood Sanatorium. So excited to have you on. How you doing, Brooke? Can you hear me, Brooke? Hello?
Hi, I'm good.
Oh, sorry. We're having just explain to everybody. We're having all kinds of technical issues tonight. It wouldn't be a show if we weren't having some kind of audio or video
Right? I swear.
problems. It's just ridiculous. But we have Brooke tonight. We were going to have originally John Griffin, paranormal investigator, who also has a really good relationship with the Wildwood Sanatorium, and unfortunately, his younger brother passed away just last night. So our condolences to him. We completely understand. Obviously, all we care about is that you're okay and that your family's doing okay. So we'll have you on again. It's not a big deal. Just sending our love and our prayers to you and your family. We got everybody chiming in. What's up, Darren? What's up, Uncle Tony?
Tony.
Uncle Tony says, "When don't you?"
Yeah, I know. It's like it's every week.
Every week.
But we just roll with it, right? That's good. So, Brooke, tell us how did this all start for you? Like, what's your origin story? Was it your family got involved with Wildwood Sanatorium or did you have because I know you're gifted, obviously.
So you can hear me okay, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Can you hear us?
So I started
Okay.
So I started going to public investigations and everything. I was probably 11, 12, and we went as just kind of like a fun thing to do. At a mansion up in Newfane, New York, and my family built the mansion and everything, and now they run ghost tours there and everything. And so we kind of went there for like a family reunion. And ever since then, my mom became addicted to ghost hunting. Addicted. So we went from there and went on other public investigations, and then eventually joined a group. We were working with them for a long time. We started running our own groups and stuff for public tours. And then we just kind of got, bored of it, I guess. Because when you go to the same couple locations every single weekend, it gets, boring. So we weren't really looking for a place. We kind of just slowed down and everything. And then bam, there was Wildwood. It just kind of hit us in the face like a ton of bricks.
Oh, wow.
But
that's awesome.
It kind of happened at the right time. My mom just got a settlement for an accident that happened at work. And so it just happened at the right time where we were able to purchase the building, and we purchased it before the owner put it on market with a realtor, which would have made it way more expensive.
Right.
So we just kind of caught it in the right time.
Well, that's lucky. That's really
everything happens for a reason. There's no coincidences, but you guys were meant to have it.
So how big of an undertaking was this for your family? What was the condition of it when you guys purchased it?
So the house, it's still pretty rough, but when we first purchased it, you couldn't even walk through the front door.
Oh, wow.
Our front porch was collapsed. The roof was even worse. It had garbage bins and totes around the entire house. We call it the moat room now. It's on the second floor, and in that room they had like boards built up with tarps, and they had water just pooling on the inside of the house, just running in. They had like a tarp on the roof, and it had a hole in it, and it was dripping down into like a pool of water and just sitting on the floor. I mean, it was pretty much, gone. It was really rough. Definitely not a home someone could buy to fix up, and stay in or anything like that.
Right.
They actually were going to demolish it and put a gas station there. Because it's on the reservation and everything, and the company that's right on the corner from the building wanted to buy it to make it into a gas station. But the community made a petition and signed paperwork and stuff to prevent that. They didn't want another gas station in town. They wanted to save the building and everything. So we're lucky with that too.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually pretty amazing. I've been driving, since I started driving, doing delivery technician work. I drive through a bunch of small towns, like around Medina area, really small towns. And I constantly am seeing like protest signs against like building new gas stations and stuff like that. Like keep our city historical. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
Apparently you're not a functioning society without a Sheetz or a big True North or something. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Right.
But I'm so glad, Brooke, that they were able to keep that safe for you guys. I mean, that's a serious piece of history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having some issues on my end. Give me 1 second. Go along. I'll be right back. Sorry.
I think we're having issues all over the place.
I know, right?
Yeah, it happens.
Right. Yeah, I know that the Gill house, actually, they were telling us that they wanted to tear it down and put a Taco Bell there.
Yes.
Yeah. And the city did the same thing. The people of the city, rallied behind the house and got it saved.
And that house is so historic that it shouldn't even have been an issue.
Right?
I mean, most places are, but I mean, some, the ones that we want to save, but that one was just, that's history right there.
Yeah.
The Gill house.
So, speaking of history, Brooke, if you can hear me, can you tell us like a brief history? Obviously, you don't want to tell us everything, but can you tell everybody a brief history of Wildwood?
Yeah, so we kind of have cool bragging rights. We were the biggest tuberculosis hospital in New York State when the tuberculosis and everything broke out. But that actually started afterwards. When they first opened the sanitarium, it was open for holistic healing and healing mental disabilities. They didn't take anyone that was contagious until they were forced to get a state. So when they first started, they did healing baths, massages. They really believed in a really good diet. The actual doctor did a study on eating sugar that would help your muscles and make you happy and give you more energy, clear your foggy mind and stuff like that. Then they started taking tuberculosis patients when that pandemic broke out and everything. When you go into the house, you can see there's tons of windows everywhere. They believe with the fresh air and the tuberculosis and everything. And then after that, when the doctors passed away and everything, it sat vacant for a little bit. The family really didn't know what to do with it. Then we don't really know what happened in between. And then in the 70s, it was apartments. And that's how you can see the house is set up now. It's set up into 3 apartments. And then in the really early 2000s, the owner that we bought it from bought it, and he raised his whole family in the house. He owned it for many, many years, and Then he sold it to us in 2017. It actually was just 4 years because we bought it on July 4th of 2017.
Oh, nice. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was trying to figure out how to put the picture up there because it's so cute. It's here, let me just take everybody off for a second.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I can't figure out how to do it. We're a mess tonight. But
when she said take everybody off, she left you two on at first. I was like, she just kicked me off the show.
We're just gonna take everybody off. Hang on, Heisenberg. No, but I do love it. I love seeing the old pictures of new, buildings that we still go to. I don't know. I'm such a nerd about that. Like, I love to walk through the halls and like sit in the rooms and think like, how many people were in this room? How many people walked these halls? Like people who live a life that's nothing like ours.
I do the same thing.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Crazy. It's crazy to even see, like, we took a picture the first day we bought the house to what it looks like now is crazy. I mean, the difference just from all the work that we've done. I mean, when we first bought the house, it was the weirdest thing. This neighbor came over. Our neighbors pretty much all love us. And this lady, like, gave us cookies and stuff. She's like, thank you so much for mowing the grass. And she like was crying. She's like, I'm so glad you guys are taking care of the building.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and now, I mean, my dad really is the one that takes care of the outside, and he does an amazing job. I mean, the house is beautiful. I just had my wedding there, and I mean, everything looked really beautiful. So he definitely does a good job taking care of the building.
Yeah, it looks so nice. I mean, if you guys aren't following their Facebook page, then make sure you do that because I love seeing, first of all, I love seeing the money that goes into a building go into the building, not into the owner's pocket. So it's so nice to see all of the improvements that you guys have done. It's incredible. I mean, I think it's been over a year since I've been there, and already so much has changed.
It's nice that you have those neighbors too that are.
Yes.
Yeah, just recently, if you guys like, if any of the listeners follow our Facebook page, they saw our water tank completely busted. I mean, it leaked all over the floor. Night before, private investigation, of course.
Right.
The whole basement was flooded with water. So we had to replace that. That, I mean, cost us probably, after all the work and piping and cleanup, probably $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
But we put in the tankless water tank. So now we opened up that whole back wall of the basement.
Oh, that's awesome.
Made it so it won't have to be replaced for a long time. It's
right.
We fixed it right and everything, and that's where all the donations go to. I mean, little emergencies like that, keeping the bills up for the place, and our main, focus is still the roof, but it's actually the whole front half is pretty much done. They have 2 pieces of metal left to do on the front, and then the guy that's doing it, our contractor, is going to take a break for a couple of months and then do the back half before winter. So
nice. That's awesome. Yeah, and like the hot water tank is not something that's like historical and should be preserved. You know what I mean? Like, I love that you guys got the tankless hot water heater.
That's the way to go right there.
Yeah.
I mean, in the long run, it saves money. So, I mean, it's more efficient. So you're paying a little bit extra to get it, but in the long run, you're going to save.
Yeah.
Like, here is this historic water tank from GE, 1972.
Well, like just like we do at Madison, we always stop at the fire system and say,
right,
this is the new fire system. Yeah.
This is where your money goes.
To keep you and us safe.
Right. Right. Yeah, it is.
Do you do the hand motions too?
Yeah.
I do. Like a stewardess on a flight.
Yeah. Vanna White.
Yes. But it does. I mean, we've had guests at the seminary tell us that, you know, they continue to come back because they see that every time they come back, new things have changed, or there's new furniture, or we've done improvements, or whatever. They need to see that their money is not just going into somebody's pockets. These people go to these locations because they want to save the history. They want to save the building. So when you have a place, which I've heard of a lot of them, where, you know, they're charging a ton of money to investigate, and then at the end of the day, nothing changes. You know, broken windows are still broken. You can't even put plywood up, you know, like nothing. Like it's very discouraging, and it makes people not want to go back.
Oh yeah, I've seen that too with other, you know, even just talking to all these groups and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, hear a lot from them. Kind of their reviews on all the buildings and everything, and it's crazy, you know, what people say.
Right. Yeah. It's good. I love watching your progress on the Facebook page. And the little garden in the front.
Yeah.
Did Kay do that too? She did the gardens for ghosts. You guys got one of those?
Yeah, that was donated by Kay.
Yeah. She does such good work too.
Yeah, we had her on. She's a very interesting person. I love talking to her.
She's amazing.
Right?
And she doesn't live that far. She lives right in Jamestown, so she's not that bad.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. Very cool. So what kind of things have you personally experienced or witnessed at unless you guys already went over that while I was fixing my Wi-Fi. What are some of the craziest things you've experienced at Wildwood Sanatorium, paranormal wise?
I just thought, should I try logging on my laptop with that?
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to try that, that'd be great.
That would be way better.
Yeah, try that. You should still have the.
Okay, let me leave for just 1 second, and I'll
Okay.
try to log on my laptop.
That'll work.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, all right, cool.
So, guys.
Right.
I was thinking yesterday.
Uh-oh.
I was like, this might have been talked about before, but
I thought I saw a plume of smoke coming from Akron.
Like maybe the ghosts, maybe they're more like they want to be in the daytime because maybe all those bangs and stuff we hear is them running into shit.
Right.
Like, how do we know they can see in the dark?
That's true.
There you go.
We never turn on the lights for them.
You're so freaking deep, bro.
We hit it with an infrared or a bright ass light right there. We're like, man.
Right. Yeah.
I can't see it. Oh.
How do we know that they can't see infrared? Or like they're extremely sensitive to it?
Right? Maybe it's really bright for them.
Yeah.
We're just like shining a bunch of shit at them and saying, hey.
Maybe infrared is like,
and then they can't find shit.
Maybe infrared is like us staring at the sun.
Right. We don't know. Maybe it burns them. I know. I think about that all the time because, like, whenever you're investigating, like, you take a REM pod and you sit it on the ground and you say, if you're here, can you touch this? It's not going to hurt you. How the fuck do you know it's not going to hurt? Like, what? You've been there? Yeah. You know it's not going to hurt? Like,
yeah. As I stubbed my toe last night, I was like, huh.
I wonder if that's what all the banging noises are.
I really
do. It's funny the random shit you think of.
No shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just making sure all our friends can see us in Facebook land. This looks weird. Something is up with our Facebook feed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Something's up all together, man.
Right? I don't know what. I even put a Wi-Fi extender in my basement so I can have good Wi-Fi.
It's just like whatever. I don't even.
Well, there was like 5 or 10 minutes on Ashley's show that I couldn't hear what you guys were saying.
Oh, nice.
Doing that whole blah 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 thing. I'm just like,
yeah.
You could have been talking shit about me the whole time, and I was like,
we were. I mean, we do that when you can hear it too. We were on Ashley Storm's show. Did you see that, Goose?
No, I missed it.
Oh, it was so funny. Heisenberg and I didn't know that each other was going to be on, so we just like popped on the screens at the same time, and he's like, "Oh,
nice." No, she asked me to be on too, but I'm like, I was just too tired. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, then Ashley just left her show.
Yeah, Ashley left the show, and it was us and this
it
guy
became
John.
The Cryptic Paranormal show on Monday.
Right. So we just kept the show going, and then
nice.
You know, apparently
was it just you two?
It was us two, and then there was a guy named John.
Okay.
What was it? Michael.
Michael.
Oh, his name was Michael.
That was the other thing. Whenever Ashley was so Michael, I was like, shit, that's not me.
Yeah, it's not you. She probably doesn't even know that's her first name. Honestly.
I know, but like it was still throwing me off. I was like,
yeah, it was funny though.
I still hate that my first name. I can't have Goose as my first name on Facebook.
I know, it's so stupid.
Like, people don't know who I am now.
Right, like that's party pooper.
I do. I think the reason I get away from it is because it's my name, just backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's true. Yeah, but apparently Ashley's apartment, the entire building, the power went out.
Yeah.
No shit.
That poor girl, man. That poor girl.
So she's like texting us like, I don't know what the hell's going on. And luckily I was logged into StreamYard so I could just end the broadcast from here.
Yeah.
So it wasn't bad, but it was just funny. We're like, all right, well, we're going to take over the show then.
Yeah, it works.
That's what we do, right? We just take over. We just annex other shows.
That's what I do. That's why I'm
Well,
here.
I'm just following you down now, man. I'm like, I'm going with her.
Shh, Brooke's back.
Oh, don't talk about it anymore.
Is that better?
Oh,
yeah,
much
way
better.
Oh my
way
god.
Better.
Okay. I didn't even think about it that my laptop had a camera.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
for some reason StreamYard works so much better with a laptop. Unless you have, I mean, Androids. People have used iPhones and iPads have had issues before. I think it's Apple products or something. I don't know, but
my phone works pretty good with it. But there are limitations. Like I said, when I couldn't hear you guys at first, I was trying to figure out which microphone they had to go through.
Yeah, the sound can be weird, but. We're back. We're good. All right. I can't remember what we're talking about.
Much better.
Yes.
We were asking her what her experiences have been at Wildwood.
Okay. So, one of my first experience was actually when we first bought the house. Probably within the first couple of weeks. My son is at the window. They're outside playing.
All right. I was like,
I thought it was like maybe you had a cat or
but anyways, okay. So
I thought there was a baby behind me.
Weeks actually, when we bought the house, we were starting to clean it up and stuff like that, so we could kind of announce that we bought it and everything. And so when the owners previously, when they left everything. I mean, there was sheets.
Oh, wow.
On beds, full bed sets, kids' clothing, marriage certificates, like weird stuff.
Wow.
And they just left it all. I mean, it was all of it. And so I was in what is now Tommy's room.
Okay.
There was a dresser against the one window, and there was a bunch of kids' clothes and stuff in it. And we were bagging all the clothes and everything like that up because we were going to donate them. And so I was going through the drawers, putting stuff, throwing stuff away and everything. And I looked to my left because I felt like you just feel sometimes like you're getting watched or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked to my left and I see this tall man with a top hat and a really nice black suit on. And I just looked at him for a second. He looked at me, saw me, and then he whistled at me. And I kind of paused for a second and didn't know how to react. And then I started walking towards him, and he turned towards the other window and turned to the back hallway, and he was gone. And then kind of later on then, after speaking to the spirits and everything at the house, I learned that was Dr. Henderson kind of introducing himself to me.
Wow.
So it was kind of my first experience there. But I mean, we've always had, you know, crazy stuff happen during public investigations and everything. I think like a big thing with the house is a lot of people, when they come on our public ghost hunts or anything, they get healed from some kind of thing going on in their life. The house kind of continues to still heal people, which is kind of a, you know, really humble kind of thing.
Yeah.
So actually, like, one of my, you know, really that touched me on one of the investigations is this man came, and he was the typical, oh, I'm a beefy guy, I don't believe in any of this is bull crap, I'm here with my wife, like, you know,
Those are my favorite.
you know those types. And so he was just kind of off in the corner and everything. And we were on the 3rd floor, and we had our spirit box, our Wildwood spirit box, on the table. And all of a sudden, the spirit box started speaking German.
Whoa.
And I mean, which happens every once in a while at the house, but normally on the 2nd floor, never on the 3rd floor. And it was an older woman's voice. And this man just started bawling. And we're like, wait, what's going on? Like, what's wrong? And he said, that's my grandmother. And she's talking to me. And we're like, oh, well, like, if you're up to it, communicate with her, ask her something back in German. And he did, and they had a full, intelligent conversation through a spirit box.
That's cool.
And then, like, she kind of went away and stuff like that, so we turned the spirit box off and got out a pendulum, which is just the pendulum on the stand that lights up.
Oh, okay.
And he, you know, was asking other questions about the spirits in the house and everything. And then he, like, said that he felt his grandma again, like, felt that she was around him or something, and that it was, like, warm and fuzzy.
Cool.
And then he said he could smell her perfume.
Wow.
So then he was all upset again. And then he started asking questions on the pendulax and was asking her questions and everything. So, I mean, like, stuff like that happens all the time at the house. People get healing messages and stuff like that. And I think that's really great that the house is still continuing to heal people,
right?
You know,
I
even
mean,
100 years later.
Yeah, that's what it was made for, and it still does it. That's awesome. So you have, what sort of abilities do you have? Like, was seeing the man in the top hat something that doesn't normally happen for you, or?
So I'm a medium and everything. I've, you know, been trained and everything. I was trained at Lilydale for a while, and I kind of started my journey like right after we started ghost hunting and stuff. I kind of was seeing spirits and experiencing some, you know, crazy stuff and everything. And then I remember we were on one public ghost hunt, and this girl was talking about how her daughter was taking mediumship classes. And my mom's like, wait, that's a thing? Like, we didn't know, you know, that was like a thing or anything. And it really wasn't that popular back then. Now it, you know, everywhere, everyone and their mama does mediumship classes and stuff. But back then they didn't.
Right.
And so I went to this academy in Williamsville up by Buffalo. And I did that for a little less than a year. Trained under, you know, a well-known medium up there and everything. And then we kind of shifted. We did shows. I did, you know, psychic fairs, stuff like that. And then I kind of fell off. I got pregnant, and I just wasn't comfortable doing readings while being pregnant and everything. And I really haven't picked it back up with doing like readings with people and stuff. I will like call out things on ghost investigations and stuff like that, but I really don't do, you know, readings for people like I used to. I'd love to get back into it, but life is so crazy right now. But but I also I have all my Reiki certificates and stuff all the way up to master for people and animals, and a bunch of, you know, certifications and stuff. And so doesn't my mom.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
You should know John Ward. He says hello to everybody.
Oh yeah. Hi, John.
Hi, John.
I'm gonna go back up. Somebody actually had a question.
Oh yeah.
Sandy Griffin, if you're still on, you had a question. Ask her if she's ever seen a small alien-looking being at the top of the stairs at the window.
I don't think I've heard that one. I've heard people seeing like pets and stuff. On especially on the second floor. Like I've heard people talk about cats and stuff like that. But I'm not sure I heard that one.
It's hard too because, you know, like everybody sees things differently. You know, like I'm not like psychic or anything, but if I ever see something, it's like a shadow figure, but it's people color, as I call it. Like it's whatever tan, I don't know. So yeah, so I mean everybody sees things differently. So like if I were to ask, has anybody seen a flesh colored, you know, shadow figure, then probably the
people are probably
no.
gonna say no.
Right. But it's just different for everybody.
Yeah, like see, like me and my mom too, this is the thing, like with our mediumship or anything, I see spirits as people. Like I like sometimes have a hard time seeing the difference. It's so crazy. But she sees them kind of in her mind's eye and they tell her how they look and stuff. Right. And every medium, you know, is kind of different. They have their own little thing, or even, you know, guests and stuff, they see things differently. Like I mean, I've seen guests talk about how they see like flashes of light, and you know, and that's kind of like shadowy stuff, and so it is hard, yeah.
And what might come across to somebody as a flash of light, like you might actually see a whole ass person standing there. You know what I mean? But like that's all that their abilities allow them to see. So I mean, it's hard. You can't like discredit the alien figure. You know what I mean? Like, just
definitely not. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, people have seen crazy things like that. I mean, I've heard people talk about seeing like little fairy things and stuff. Like normally fairies, like from what I've heard, present themselves as like little flashes of light and stuff like that. And I've heard, you know, seen that before.
Right. Oh, perfect.
Sandy said it's on YouTube. I saw it. Daniel Klaus. Okay, so it was a Daniel thing. Was running a closed circuit camera there, and I watched it all night. It was January 1st, 2018.
I'll have to rewatch that.
Yeah,
I'll have to look for that because that sounds really cool.
Interesting. Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah, thank you.
We got Angela. Oh, I brought it back. I'm just going to stop touching. Is it me?
I'll bring up Angela.
Okay. You got Angela and Brian Felicia's saying hello. We love you guys. Hello. Hi. Hopefully everything is well.
See you soon. It's
Rick
less than a
Perry
month
says
now.
hello. Yes. Yeah. Actually, let's bring that up real quick if you guys don't mind doing a quick plug. Hold on. I'll find it.
Maybe.
Since they're on,
there it
reminds me. Oh, shit. There it is. Okay. The Ghost Hunt for Brian, Saturday, August 7th, 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. at Middle Point School in Middle Point, Ohio. Spearheaded by our own teammate, Sean Gilmore, and RU Media family member from our Paranormal podcast, Daniel Klaus. Also good mention there. Also helped out Austin Maynard. And then two of the three of us from the Cryptic Paranormal show will be there. Unfortunately, I will not be able to be there, but
boo.
I know. Anyways, that's another story for a different day.
That's okay. The real talent will be there, right, Heisenberg?
That's right.
Well, Heisenberg needs a handler.
I feel like all the big paranormal stuff is happening right when I'm having my babies, so I can't like do anything.
Oh no.
Like we were talking about Fairfield the other day, and we're like, do I go? Do I not go? Like that's a really far drive, and like, I told my mom, like, we'll see. I don't know.
When are you due? Like, what's the exact date?
I am having her in exactly 6 weeks. So
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you got this.
So it's the last week in August.
You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're fine.
We'll see you there.
I went all the way to
the car for a long time.
And we investigated Wilson Castle, and I did fine. So
wow, yeah. So there you go. How was Wilson Castle for you? Just out of curiosity.
It was a beautiful building. I mean, like, you get taken away just by being in that place.
Yeah.
The building is so amazing. The owner is adorable. She's the nicest lady in the world. I mean, we were like freezing our asses off, so I mean that kind of sucked. It was May 1st, so it was like we were freezing and everything.
Yeah.
But we did get some, cool shadows and some good spirit box answers. A lot of actual medium stuff was Wilson Castle. Like we got more through mediumship and everything than we did on equipment, which was kind of weird because normally it's, the other way around and the medium stuff just supports what we're getting. Yeah. But it was, a lot of mediumship stuff between both me and my mom.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of crazy.
That's really cool. That's interesting when stuff like that happens. We're not expecting that kind of activity. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Rick's orders.
God, that's fine. It's fine. There's plenty of hospitals around. You're fine.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Oh, God.
Everybody wants to be born in Ohio anyways. We all know this.
Everybody wants to be born at a haunted poor farm. That's fine.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Great. It'd be a hell of a story for when she grows up.
Yeah, no kidding, right? So let me tell you about the building you were born in, honey.
Yeah.
It was an infirmary, so the staff was weird.
There was a lot of cameras around for some reason.
And they're all standing around in the dark. We really don't know what's happening. But
that's fun.
But somebody recorded it all.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. Like,
oh my gosh! See, these are the tangents that we go off on, but it's fun.
Yeah, whoops.
It's fun. Yeah, I'm waiting for John, if he's still watching, to start talking about food, but we'll hold off until he actually mentions it.
Do you want to put up Fairfield since we're plugging stuff?
Yeah, that's cool.
I got you.
Oh, cool. Oh, it's coming up so close. July 24th, Saturday. When's it? What time does it start? 10 o'clock?
I think 10. Yeah.
10 to 5. And then there's an after ghost hunt, but I think the ghost hunt's already sold out.
Yeah, the ghost hunt's sold out. They usually
we won't push that because it's already sold out.
It's already sold out.
If you lost your you lost your chances. Sorry. Yeah. But it's gonna be really cool. Resident Undead, the Gateway Boys are gonna be there. Us three. That's a thing for you guys. I don't know. Yes, I mean, right. The RU Media Network flagship.
It's amazing how many places we show up together at.
So yeah, FC Icon coming up, and Brooke will be there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, hopefully.
Maybe the baby too.
Yeah, maybe the baby too.
So back to Wildwood. How have other people reacted? Have you ever had anybody like run out or just like have a total freak out while they're there?
I can only think of actually like one time, and it was kind of weird because with 4 years you would think there'd be kind of more than that, but really I can only think personally of one time. We had a group message us and they're like, we can't do this, we're leaving early, it's nothing against you guys, but the spirits are too evil or something. I don't exactly remember. It was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And then they like claimed that they got attachments and stuff. Like it was like a weird situation. But that's really like all we've ever really had. Most of the groups we've met have been really awesome people. We've really lucked out.
No.
Yeah. I feel like that had, let's say that there were negative things that were communicating with them. I'm guessing somebody in their group brought it with them.
Probably, yeah.
Because I never, I slept at Wildwood and I'm a chicken shit. It's definitely haunted. There definitely was activity, but it wasn't anything like threatening or that would make you run out of the building. It was it's always like more like peaceful spirits. Like you feel like
at peace at Wildwood. It's not like a, scary thing or anything. It's like the spirits just make you feel peaceful and at home and calm and stuff like that. And I mean, that's just kind of their demeanor. I mean, they would be healing people and, they wouldn't be negative or anything.
Right.
I mean, we've had some like grumpy guys and everything, but what place doesn't? I mean,
there was,
but nothing definitely like evil that'll, hurt you or anything.
Right.
Well,
that room in the basement kind of gave me the creeps.
Yeah.
It was like a little tiny room that you guys used for storage. It might actually be, is it where the hot water tank is?
No.
Okay.
That's
like off of the room that has the bathtubs. There's like that little
I know
room
what you're talking about.
That was a little creepy. Like I didn't want to go in there.
Yeah,
like
that room creeps me out too for some reason. I mean, I don't. Yeah. No, that room's always been just like kind of weird. I mean, it's.
Yeah, but that's not enough to scare you out of the building. So
yeah, no.
You would, Eddie.
I gotta get over there, man. Eddie
said he likes the doll room. You're a freak, Eddie.
Yeah.
I love you to death, but you're a freak. Obviously, Brooke, I hate dolls.
For clicks.
Yeah.
It's okay. Most people hate the dolls, so it's fine. But the spirits love them, so.
Well, that's all. I mean, obviously, if the dolls are getting reactions, I love them, but I won't look at them or go close to them.
Right. I'm not going to carry one around with
from
me.
afar.
Right.
Yeah.
Ashley Storm says, "Sup, chicken butts."
So
I need some fried chicken, Ashley.
Hey.
I could go for some fried chicken.
Ashley, did you get some psychic visions of me chasing my chickens into the coop before the show? Is that why you said that? Her and I are connected on some weird level. I can't wait to actually meet her in person. It's going to be weird. It's going to all make sense, I feel like.
It's all going to make sense.
Yeah, you guys are going to figure it out right there at Bad Con.
Yep.
It's going to be a spark. It's going to be
like you guys watch out.
So Denise is no longer with the show. She's now on Storming the Unknown with Ashley Storm.
Don't tempt me with a good time. I could do both. There's a good time.
Wow. You could do both shows, right?
Yeah, why not? So the dolls I wanted to ask about. Sorry, Goose. I know you don't like dolls, but
sorry, I won't
where did they come from? Were they like one of the many things that was left in the house when you guys bought it?
Okay, so the doll room kind of started when we were on Paranormal Lockdown. So before Paranormal Lockdown, like the week before, we were starting to set up the house. We were putting just little things up, like a couple of beds, so the house didn't look completely empty. Because the week after that, we were gonna have our first, public ghost hunt, our first, debut event. And right before Paranormal Lockdown, they called us and asked if we, they wanted the building to kind of look abandoned. So they had us remove a lot of stuff. And one of the, the rooms that the doll is in now and everything, that we had set up as like a little girl's room because it was like a pink room. And, we wanted to have like a kid's room and everything like that. And so we had one doll in there. That was it. And a couple of toys and I think like a little rocking chair or something. And actually, when they were filming the show, they got an EVP of a woman saying, "Bring back the toys."
Oh, wow.
So we, took that as they wanted that as a little girl's room and stuff like that. So that's what we did. And then, like, following that, during public investigations and stuff like that, they started talking about dolls. There was a woman in the room, and she wanted dolls. And that woman, we found out later, her name was Linda. She was a patient at the house. She stayed because she got burns on her legs. And she, was a patient, and that was her room and everything. So it just became, a thing. We bought her a few dolls and everything. And then it kind of became like a thing for groups to bring us dolls.
Right.
Like, I don't know how that kind of shifted, but it did. I mean, people were sending us dolls in the mail. They were just sitting on the front porch when we unlocked the building. I mean, groups would just bring them. Yeah, groups would just bring them for Linda and just leave them there and everything. So that's kind of where it all started.
Nice.
And a few of them, I mean, we've gotten, like, my mom felt like an attachment to, or felt like something was on them. And then the one doll actually was my mom's when she was younger.
Oh, cool.
We have, like, a lot of family touches to the house.
That's
and
awesome.
So, that doll is there now, and yeah.
Nice.
It just kind of escalated.
Right.
Rick Perry mentioned the rocking chair doll.
Oh yeah. It rocks, right? It rocks.
Yeah,
and its eyes light up red.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a video of it. I'll send it to
I'll
you.
just have to believe that Wildwood Sanitarium's haunted. I guess I won't be going there. Rocking chair dolls. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't worry, we won't put you in there blindfolded with them.
Yeah, you will.
No, we don't want to blindfold.
Wildwood is like, it's always, it includes our whole entire family. I mean, it's definitely ran, solely on family. I mean, we all have our own little parts,
That's really cool.
I do like social media stuff, and I order the merch and design the merch and, do all that stuff. And Dad, does the maintenance stuff and everything like that. Mom does the tours. Like, we all have our own little parts.
That's pretty cool right there. Yeah.
You guys were definitely meant to be there, and I love everything that you do. All of you.
Thank you.
And I love that you have family touches in the building. That's super cute.
Yeah, my mom's dog actually just passed away, and she is actually buried at Wildwood now. Because my mom said she has to be there, so she's there now. My mom has a picture of her brother that committed suicide at a young age. That's on the 3rd floor. Like, there's just little family touches, throughout the whole house.
You guys should totally take a picture of you guys dressed up in 1900s clothes, and then put the filter on it so it's that sepia tone or whatever, and then print it real big and hang it on the wall and make it look like it was. Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
No,
we've actually talked about that, getting nurses outfits and stuff, and stuff like that. We've talked about that.
Yeah, that would be so cool. She's excited for.
Aw, yeah. That's funny. That dog was older than I am, so it was
wow.
She really upset her. I mean, she's 20 years old.
Oh my god!
That's a long life for a dog.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's amazing. Well, now she lives on in spirit at Wildwood Sanatorium.
Right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's why my mom put out a post. She's like, "If you guys hear a dog at the sanitarium," she's funny.
It is. I mean, when Bella died, I had this weird feeling that I needed to go up to the seminary, and I went up there, and I forget who was there, but they were using the FASA box, and they were doing sensory deprivation, and they were like, "It sounds like a dog is barking," and I'm like,
"Oh wow,
okay, don't assume that it's her yet, whatever."
Yeah,
and then we're all sitting on the porch, all the volunteers. And one of our volunteers goes, "What dog?" And we're like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Nobody said anything." And he's like, "You didn't just say, look at that black dog?" And we're "No, nobody said anything."
Oh,
that's
wow.
So one of the spirits whispered in his ear, "Look at that black dog." And my dog was black. So it was maybe, maybe she was there. And maybe, the spirits are like, "Who's this new dog? I've never seen this dog before." Because it was literally the night after she passed away.
Wow.
It was really cool.
Definitely meant to be that you were there.
Right? Yeah. I even was having dreams about it. The night that she passed away, I kept having dreams go to the seminary, go to the seminary.
Oh, wow.
Go talk to Bella at the seminary. Not at home,
Yeah.
So it was really cool. I don't know. Just made me feel good. Where does he keep going?
I don't know. Maybe he's eating mango.
Dude, my head is killing me. I'm trying to like turn it off so I'm not wincing at your stories.
Oh, you're fine.
The dude messed me up, man.
So, I'll tell you guys this story about Easton when Bella died. Ashley, listen to this. It was terrible. My 7-year-old, the day that she died, I told them, because they came home from school, and I said, Bella died while you guys are gone. And I gave them like a half hour to process everything before I started asking them questions or whatever. I gave them a half hour to process it. And my 7-year-old was outside, and he's sitting on the porch, and he's just bawling his eyes out. And he says, Bella, now that you can run again, can you run and play with me in the yard? And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God, my heartstrings.
Yeah.
Like, because she couldn't run or anything. She was super old too. So, oh my God, it killed me. So Kathy Santori actually sent them a book about how animals are reincarnated and that they'll come back just at a different time. So that was very comforting to him. But he, still will like go run outside, and he's like, maybe Bella will come with me. I'm like, oh gosh. So I'm gonna.
Aw, that's so sweet.
I know it broke my heart, but it was so sweet at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to tell him that she's always there. It's fine.
Yeah.
Ashley said animal spirits are the coolest.
Yeah.
She's totally with y'all. Yeah, absolutely. There's still nights where I feel like, and it's not that I know I hear Luna like clumping up the steps.
Yeah.
Just like the creaks and the footsteps and the because she would be so winded trying to get up the steps. And like we still feel Lucy jump on the bed every once in a while. Now we have to be careful though, because sometimes it is actually our 9-pound Yorkie poo jumping on the step or jumping up on the bed. But I've checked before, and it's happened recently. I'll feel like the bed will just like shake, like how Lucy would jump right on the end of the bed.
Yeah.
And I look down to make sure it's not Poppy, and it wasn't Poppy, because our dog, if I'm in the bed alone, she won't come near the bed.
Yeah.
When Mommy comes to bed, she's there, like, But yeah, I totally. When I first started this, I wasn't really sure if I believed that animals had an afterlife, but I totally believe it now.
Yeah.
Having
Definitely.
Unfortunately, having lost a few,
Right.
just now if our lost guinea pigs start showing up, then we got an issue.
Right? Like, where's the line? Where's
right.
the line?
And they're buried in the yard too, so that's a whole different story.
You have to get a ghost cage.
Right.
Like if
we gotta clean up ghost poop. Damn.
But seriously, where's what? I don't know.
I don't think there is a line.
Yeah, like is there? I accidentally ran over a frog with the lawnmower. Like, is that frog?
I don't think. No, I don't think there's a line.
Okay.
That's frog murder.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree.
You don't think there's a line, or
I don't know, because like some people are really close to certain pets and stuff that you wouldn't think they're close to.
Yeah,
true.
So maybe animals are all somewhere else, and then they just come to visit. Maybe they're not just like everywhere all the time. That's what I'm gonna say. Are
you worried there's a bunch of ghost animals just around you right now? Is that what the problem is, Denise?
Yes, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, that is it.
Don't keep your pet snakes and your pet lizards to yourself. Yeah, your pet spiders, whatever the hell crazy ass animals you have, you keep them to yourself.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, I like lizards. So lizards are okay. Actually, that's totally homicide.
Oh, jeez.
Frog murderer.
Accident.
Maybe not from the frog side.
Right.
She's coming after me. Jeff wants to know what's on the top of your head, Denise.
How do you know that's me? It says his or her.
Oh, top of her. Oh.
Mine? It's my hair.
Well, obviously everybody knows what's on the top of my head. It's the same old dusty, grody crypto paranormal hat that I've had for years now. So have you? I mean, outside of Wildwood, where some of the places that you have investigated?
So a lot of places like up in Buffalo Way and everything, like the Buffalo Terminal. The Van Horn Mansion is the mansion that's actually my family built it and everything. My mom is a direct descendant of James Van Horn and everything, and we have family reunions there and everything. So that's kind of where it started. I mean, we've been to Iron Island, the naval ships at Canal Side.
Nice.
Our most recent place we went to Wilson Castle for their event for like first responders and stuff. Because my mom's a healthcare worker, so we did that. Yeah. We want to go to more places and stuff, but when you own a location, it's like you're married to it. I mean, we're there every weekend and everything, so it's definitely hard. But we've been to Madison and everything, and so.
It's all right.
What did you think of Buffalo Terminal? Because that's one place that I've always wanted to go. Is that?
I love the Buffalo Terminal, but we haven't been there a long time. Like we weren't there before they did a lot of the work and everything.
Oh, okay.
It was before all that, and I mean I loved that place. Like everything about that place is amazing. That location is amazing. The spirits there are so active and so intelligent. I mean, like, especially, it was Tony's apartment and everything. We were up in there, in that area, and we'd have full conversations with him on like a old spirit box, like an SB11, with the background noise and everything. And he, we asked him, what town are we in? And it said Buffalo, like really loud.
That's
and
awesome.
That was crazy. And there's different areas that have different kinds of people that you talk to, like down where the taxis and stuff were. You kind of talk to like mobsters and like, kind of, grumpy old men and stuff like that, because that area was controlled, by those kind of people and everything. But then you go on the main floor of the terminal and you talk to like, wives that their husbands didn't come home from war, stuff like that, and they're waiting for them. That place is amazing. I mean, the activity you get there.
Do you know?
For the sake of Denise, I know what it is. Can somebody describe what the Buffalo Terminal is?
Thanks, Heisenberg. You're so kind.
It's
terminal
an
in
old
Buffalo?
train station. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A huge train station.
I mean, it sounds awesome. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured Denise would want to know
for
what it
a
is.
train station. It's an absolutely large building. It's
huge. Yeah, it's really tall and skinny, and then the bottom's kind of wide, and it's just a big train station. Cool. But it closed down. Awesome. Wasn't it like the 70s? I believe.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom went there as a little girl, actually.
Oh, wow.
Rode the trains and stuff. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I know it's been featured on a couple shows, but I'm friends with the guys from Beyond Ghosts, and that used to be kind of one of their big ghost hunting places. I'm not sure if they still operate any ghost hunts out of there. I didn't even know that was still like open for ghost hunting. So.
I don't think it is anymore, because that's where we used to run tours and stuff for Beyond Ghosts, and that's who we went with. Yeah. Then we went with a few groups after that, but
that's cool.
Yeah, that was one of my bucket lists, and like I said, I haven't heard about it for a few years actually until you brought it up, and I'm like, damn, I forgot about that place.
It's really cool, but I don't think Beyond Ghosts is like a thing anymore. I'm not sure.
I haven't seen John or anybody like really posting anything about. So they used to have events all the time, and like they had the Carnival of Horrors up there, like around the Buffalo area, quite a bit. But that's just that whole area up there. There's like the Statler Hotel. I'd love to go there. Yeah, we've been
to Statler. Statler's awesome too. I mean, that building's crazy.
What kind of stuff did you have happen to you at Statler?
Like we used to get a lot of stuff in the freezer for the meat and everything they would take people into. we'd always have like crazy feelings, like you would smell cigarette smoke, and it was really weird because you're in a meat freezer in the kitchen, but we would smell like cigarette smoke, and they would also talk about like mob stuff and everything like that, and that was kind of like the history of it, that like you know, it had like mob ties and everything, and the mob would take people in there and everything. So we got kind of stuff in there. My mom would always speak to a lady that jumped off the balcony. And my mom would always see her. And then where they have the secret library too, we would always get stuff with motion detectors, and we'd put all of our motion detectors on the table, and they would all go off. They really liked REM pods too. And that library is so cool. Like you wouldn't even be able to tell it's there.
Oh, wow.
And you just open it up, and it's this beautiful library with this giant banquet table.
That's cool.
That's cool. I would love to investigate like a terminal, man. That sounds like so cool. Like a lot of active energy.
Right.
That went through there.
Yeah, a lot of like residual energy when you think about how many people went through that building. It's crazy.
Yeah. And you think about like really, like you were mentioning the women that whose men didn't come home from war, or you think about being shipped off to war. How much emotion goes through a terminal? Like people who haven't seen each other for a long time, people who've lost each other. It just, when you really think about it, it's like just a big ball or big building of emotions. You know, it's just, I would love to, I always wanted to ghost hunt at that place, or any terminal, really. I mean, there's not a whole lot. Oh, okay, guys, go ahead. I'm losing my mind. This is exactly what I told you was going to happen.
The words aren't working today.
Can I hear a train whistle?
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. Are you being serious?
No, that was just me talking.
Okay.
That was
you
the
sound
universe.
like a train whistle.
That was the universe telling me to shut up.
I'm not going to deny it if it makes him shut up.
All I was saying is yes, I agree with you, terminals.
Yeah.
I told you guys this was going to happen tonight.
Well,
start
you're
rambling.
tired. I got a concussion. Denise is the only one that's on.
Oh, you guys are screwed then.
Heisenberg is getting beat up by his kid, and I've been working too many days.
We're gonna say on the show that he got beat up by his kid.
Yeah,
I was gonna let people think it was a bar fight or something, but okay.
Everybody knows Heisenberg. He doesn't hang out.
Everybody knows. It's totally on par that I got beat up by a kid.
Yeah, that can really mess you up though. I'm glad you don't have black eyes or anything.
Yeah. It does hurt though. That's why like every once in a while I'll just get like a sharp pain. That's why like you'll see I'm not like grimacing at you guys. It's just like sometimes I'll get like, and I'm like
like, what did I say now?
That too.
Yeah. So because we didn't tell the story on the show, people probably don't know what you're talking about. His son smacked his head into his nose really hard, like right before the show, right?
Yeah. Like I saw the stars and everything, man. Like I was surprised it didn't bleed.
Yeah.
But I think the hit was more right here.
Oh yeah.
Because this is where it hurts, from right there. I think it was more but I was like, I told Kate, I was like, I haven't been hit that hard since high school.
You hit the nose at the right angle, man. It could screw you up bad.
Right.
I know. I swear he's trying to take me out, man.
He might. Did you try to give him like carrots instead of Cheetos or something?
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Oh,
You're talking about me? I give him whatever he wants, man.
Okay, you got whatever you want, Lincoln. It's fine.
Right?
He's like cookies 5 minutes before dinner. I was like, why not, man?
Oh gosh.
I gotta say though, that video you shared with me of Lincoln saying "goose" at the Goose Project shirt, it really
yeah.
I felt really, you needed some encouragement.
I know, right? Just him pointing to "goose," I'm like, yeah, buddy. All right.
He started doing that last week.
Nice.
See that. And he says this. He goes, "Bigfoot."
That's awesome. All right. Well, we fell off the track there a little bit. Sorry, Brooke. It happens.
Yeah. Welcome.
Brooke, you're on mute.
Yeah, my son's yelling in the background, so I'm muting as I can.
Okay. So it's okay we went off on a tangent.
Oh, yeah, you're okay.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. You're right. If I wake up with black eyes, I'm not going to work.
Oh, man.
It's okay. You just tell him that you got to see the other guy.
Right, exactly.
Right.
They know me too well. First, they'll say, well, how hard did Kate hit you?
Right.
That'd be the first.
Oh, God.
Or why did she hit you?
What did you do?
Obviously, you deserved it.
It wouldn't be a question if I deserved it. They'd probably just be like, oh, good, Kate finally hit you.
Just tell them you didn't answer the phone when she was trying to call you from Firehouse.
Oh, yeah. Dude, she was bad, man. I make sure I keep my phone on now whenever she's out of the house.
Yeah.
You should, anyways, yeah.
I try.
Team Kate.
But I had my phone on for so long, being on call.
Yeah.
That I get PTSD when the phone rings, especially if I hear my old ringtone.
Oh, yeah.
That I had when I was on call, like I'll freeze up.
Yeah. I can imagine. That sucks.
Oh, we should probably talk about what is going on at Wildwood.
Yeah. What's new at Wildwood?
We're talking about all these other cons and events.
Oh, yeah, you're okay. We don't have a whole lot planned right now. The house is super booked, so we can't plan anything. I mean, we're booked every weekend for the rest of the year. So we haven't been able to plan anything.
That's not a bad problem.
I believe they're doing an event for the world's largest ghost hunt.
Cool.
And I think that's pretty much it. That's all we have going on. They've even started booking during the week. So, we didn't get a chance to book anything before all the weekends got booked and everything. Yeah. So.
Right.
Which is great. I mean, we love private groups and stuff. Yeah. They're always, great people and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's really the bread and butter, I think, of any location. Just getting the word out there from people who've been there on that kind of intimate level. Mm-hmm. And they spread the word to other groups, and they're like, "Oh, we got to go," and it's really cool. And now you're booking it during the week. That's really good news. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's been awesome. We were thinking about maybe doing some like history tours coming up this month, just to get kind of the community more involved in everything. Yeah. We were talking about that today, actually. So that might be something that we do, just like, our history tours where people can see the building and stuff. Because we offer that all the time. Like, if you just call us or message our Facebook page, we'll come out and do a history tour.
Oh, cool.
But if we actually advertise it, then more people will know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love the history tours. It's important.
My mom does a great job. I mean, she gives the whole lay down.
Yeah. And you could do those during the day so people can see everything. I think buildings are so much different during the day than they are at nighttime.
Ghosts won't be stuffing their feet out, really.
Yeah. And plus I've learned, people who usually do the day tours are there for the history anyways. It's usually not people who are into the paranormal kind of stuff. So, I mean, if you did run a couple hours on a Saturday morning or, see what happens.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we do on normal history tours. We say, like, if you want ghost stuff, we'll tell you. If you don't, you don't. You know?
Yeah.
Well, that's the way when we did the flashlight tours at Madison, when Ray and I would do them, we like, so what would you like more of? The history or the paranormal?
Yeah.
Right.
And we were happy when it was the history.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do,
Yeah.
Yeah, we start with the history, and we could tell right away, like, people are, like, wandering around, not paying attention. So you want to hear about the paranormal? Yeah, and then all of a sudden everybody's like staring at you with their ears just perking up.
Well, this place isn't haunted, so too bad.
I don't believe in ghosts. What do you? Eddie said he loves Wildwood. He wants to know if you've ever heard of people seeing blue flashes outside.
I have heard of people talking about seeing flashes of light and stuff outside. I have heard of that.
That's interesting too, because we always talk about at this this event we went to. This lady brought up these pictures her kids took at the National Cemetery with those little blue flashes. I'd never seen anything like that before.
Nope.
Normally, people bring me pictures of orbs. I'm like, well, we go down that rabbit hole.
Orb pictures.
Yeah.
I always send them his way.
Yeah. And that's what he did, but I'm glad he did on this occasion because I'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah,
that was a real one. But usually when people show me, I'm like, oh, go show Ray. He likes those. He'll tell you what it's about.
Oh yeah.
So see, I believe orbs can be ghosts. I don't believe all,
but not all orbs.
Yeah, not all of them. I believe more in orbs that I can see with my own eye.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I agree with that too.
Look,
I saw one at the Opera House, Twin City Opera House. That's the one of the few times that I've known that I saw one because it was pitch dark, and I was like, anybody else see that light?
Yeah.
I've seen, flashes of light, in the circle and stuff go right past my face. I mean, I've definitely seen, like a ball of energy or something like that.
Yeah, I witnessed that a few times.
And I saw a comment about Beller House too, and we've been there before and everything too. That's a great place too. Yeah,
Jeff Taflin, he was a volunteer there at work. I actually said he was a groundskeeper there. I remember seeing him.
I saw that. Yeah, we've been to Beller. We only went once because it's a pretty far drive, but we've been there before. My mom loved it there.
Yeah, Jeff,
I don't remember a whole lot because we decided to drive out from our house at I think it was 6:00 at night, and we lived 6 hours away. So by the time we got there, it was morning, and then we helped run that night. So it was.
Geez.
Wow,
that's rough.
Yeah, that's a lot.
We've done stupid things.
Yeah, but that's a every Tuesday thing for my mom. My mom has platinum passes to Cedar Point and Kings Island and stuff, and they'll just go at a whim and drive 6 hours to ride some roller coasters and then go home. So
yeah.
Irene said she doesn't see orbs, but she sees spirit and full view. Oh, that's interesting. She communicates with them, and they show themselves to her. That's really cool.
Yeah, well, that's what we were kind of talking about earlier, about how they show different ways.
You can see the spirits in different ways. Yep.
Yeah. I tend to see more of the light phenomenon, like the balls of light, or what I call sparkles, just like the spirit sparks, or whatever you want to call them. I was seeing that a lot when we were doing the Ghost Hunt at Kent Stage. Everybody else had gone on to do the rest of the ghost walk throughout Kent, and we kind of held back, and the whole stage was just pitch black, and we're just standing on the stage looking into the audience area, the seating area, and there are different parts of the theater that were known for different types of activity, and this one seat, and I didn't even know this at the time, I kept seeing this bright light just kind of, and then it would dissipate, almost like a little baby firework.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. Well, apparently that's where.
Oh wow, that is cool.
Yeah, apparently that was the seat of They had a poet that was in there all the time. He was very well known at the Kent Stage. His name was Merle, and I guess that was his seat. That was his specific seat where he sat.
That's cool.
And
his
shadow's
awesome.
His shadow's been seen there. I think we got some EVPs from him. I was helping the Haunted Housewives do the ghost hunt after the convention, and we were getting direct responses from Merle because he loved coffee. So we kind of geared our conversation towards how he liked his coffee, and he was answering us.
Right.
Oh, hey.
See, I love stuff like that. That it like intelligent answers to the history, and it all like intertwines. It's not just random stuff. I love when that happens. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's really an interesting thing.
Yeah. We have John on. What is up, sir? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
John.
How's it going?
Good. So we're glad you made it on, man. Thank you so much. I know a lot is going on.
Yeah.
Our prayers are with you, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. So we're talking about some different experiences. I know you have some really cool firsthand experiences with Wildwood Sanatorium. What the?
Oh man, there's a list. Where do I begin on this one?
Yeah. Well, you only got 45 minutes, but go ahead.
I could say from our first experience, I'll go with that one. We basically, there were only three of us. It was myself, my brother, and one of our intuitives on the team, Reggie. And we were out in the seance area. And, there's that doll room with 1,000,001 dolls. I mean, we call it the Zach Bagans room. We know he loves dolls and such. So, of course, naturally, while we're doing things out there, all the lights are out, and we hear a doll just take on a life of its own. We just hear like a doll laugh.
Oh no!
I'm out.
and I turn and look. We're all looking at the room, and I'm going, of course, it's the room that's pitch black with 100 dolls in it. It's like, okay.
Wait, so you said that was your first experience there, and you continued to go back after that?
Right? Oh my god.
Okay.
I've only been back there, probably 40 times, something like that.
Oh yeah, just a rough estimate.
I mean, that's just it's EVPs galore there. The responses are absolutely incredible. All the experiments that we're doing, especially when it comes down to like Tommy and Dr. Henderson, their response is just absolutely incredible. We did an experiment where we were trying to measure how far their voices could project.
Oh wow!
And we got Tommy to do it, and sure enough, after we told Tommy, okay, stand right here, and then in 3 seconds, I want you to just yell as loud as you can.
Yeah.
And you actually heard we were doing measurements of where we had the recorders, and you actually heard him yell. It was
wow,
absolutely amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's very cool.
That is really an interesting experiment.
Does anybody know the history, like who Tommy is? I'm just asking because
actually, Tommy is a confirmed person that lived at the house. We actually have confirmation about that. A lady that lived, that we actually know and stuff and everything. She went to elementary school with Tommy, and she remembers in elementary school, her teacher came in the room and everything, and told them that their classmate Tommy passed away and everything. And we actually, she gave us the last name and everything, and we found his headstone in the cemetery and everything. Wow. So he is like a confirmed connection.
Do you remember what he was there for?
He lived there. So he like when it was apartments and stuff, he wasn't treated there. He just lived there.
Yeah, because it was weird because when I was walking through there, I went into that room, and that was like, I felt so comfortable in that room, and I was like, oh my God, I love this room. I love the way I feel in here. Like I felt super comfortable. And then, it was, then your mom explained the story, this is Tommy's room. And I'm like, well, that explains a lot. Every location that we go to, if there's a spirit of a little boy, it finds me.
Oh, really?
And I think that it's just because, I'm a mom of 3 boys. And so I must like put out this beacon like, hey, she's a boy, mom. It's fine, but it was so, listen, little kid spirits is creepy. Okay, if you hear like an adult laughing, you're like, okay, that was weird. If you hear a little kid laughing, it's super creepy, right?
Mhm.
You know, so it's just weird that that was the one room where I was like, oh my God, I love this room. So I was just wondering like what his story was and who he was and why I would feel comfortable in there.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we know about him. I mean, that he confirmed lived there and passed away, you know, during that time and everything. But I mean, I know John's team gets a ton with Tommy.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, Tommy and we've been getting a little girl. We haven't identified her, but she literally followed us 3 different floors, and she seems to be very food oriented. So one EVP on one floor, she was saying cookie cutter. Another one, she was literally yelling muffin, and it was like super loud. It was like, oh, okay. And the next time we showed up, we were like, okay, because we didn't hear her, we didn't know. We've never heard her before, so the next time we brought muffins for her.
That's cute.
That's awesome.
See, I love when people investigate like that.
Did you get any reactions after that?
We've heard her. She actually was. We caught EVPs that had Tommy and the little girl both within the same vicinity, which we've never had before. But we've been doing this investigating this for. I think we've been going back and forth there for about 3 years now, and the little girl seemed to be newer. It was usually Tommy, Dr. Henderson, or Dr. Perry, and some of the nurses we were getting. So this one came within the past about year or 2.
Okay. Do you have any theories as to what happened? Like maybe she came in with something or someone and then just stayed, or?
That has happened a few times. There's been cases where because we do a lot of don't get too excited about this. A lot of statistic analysis, very numbers oriented, and a lot of the places have trends. Wildwood Sanitarium has very similar trends to other places, and we started seeing that some of the trends were going really wonky, and that's when we started noticing specific entities that were very misplaced.
Okay.
And we started to try to research as to why that was happening.
Oh wow.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, we've noticed that too. Like, there's kind of traveling spirits and stuff. A lot of spirits will come with people, though, too. Like we were talking about earlier with the evil stuff and everything. Like, we've experienced that a lot too, where, you know, spirits travel with people. But I mean, the house is also next to 2 cemeteries. I mean, the cemetery's in the backyard of the house. So, of course, you're going to have some kind of traveling, especially if spirits know they can go there and communicate with people.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Austin was talking about that with the Middle Point School. You know, like it's a school. It's not normally a place, you know, there wasn't tragedy. There wasn't anything like that. But it just came to be a place where the spirits knew that if they went there, then people would talk to them, you know, or they could get their message across or whatever. So it ended up, now it's like an uber haunted place, and it doesn't have a sad story or any, you know, deaths in the building, but it's just a place where they can go and they know they could talk to people. I feel like it happens at Madison sometimes too. You know, maybe it's somebody that's with somebody, you know, it's the taxi cab theory, you know, they come with somebody and then they're like, hey, I like this place, you know, there's they like the other spirits, they like what we're doing, you know, whatever, and then so they decide to stay.
Yeah, I know, like the last time Mike Hatcher came over and everything, we were doing some stuff and everything, and you know, he mentioned something. He's like, oh, did you feel my new friend? And I'm like, are you talking about the teenager in the doll room? And I'm like, I was trying to ask her like where she came from, and she didn't tell me anything. And he said, yeah, that's my new friend that's been following me around, and what'd you get off her and everything. It was really funny.
That's funny. Did she stay or did she go home with Mike?
Oh, she froze up.
She froze up.
Oh no.
Oh no. No,
That means no. Okay, so screen capture. Got it.
That's funny.
Listen, I've frozen and like that. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my computer, and I make some stupid face and then freeze that way for 5 minutes.
And of course, we like to call it out.
Right? Last week I actually thought that I froze and I didn't, and I was like, "Oh my fucking god, dude!" Wasn't frozen. Whoops.
It's not a show without something happening,
right?
I had another podcast that another podcast. Oh, there she goes. Had another podcast that I was on, and she both the hosts, they froze exactly when they were looking at each other and smiled.
Oh my god!
Screen captured that, and I told him, I have a new banner for you for your show, and I have nice heart, and it said "Love at First Freeze."
Oh my gosh, that's
I don't know what happened. My laptop just like turned off. Like I've never had that happen. I don't know. Maybe, like,
it was that teenage girl. She was like, "Don't talk about me."
Right.
Never had problems with radio shows.
Yeah, well, tonight, like, we literally just had our Wi-Fi upgraded, and like tonight I've had nothing but problems. It just keeps logging me off. I'm like, what the hell? I just paid to have this upgraded, and now it's like not even. It's working worse than it was before. But like, I mean, everybody at my house right now is on Wi-Fi, so it's like I don't know how much it can actually handle.
I had to upgrade it just to be on this show, man. Remember my thing? We kept just like
yeah.
Yeah. See, and that is exactly why, if you guys are reading Irene's comment, that is exactly why I don't want to develop any psychic abilities. People always say, like, you can, everybody has abilities and you could just develop them and whatever. No, I don't want to be overwhelmed like that.
Yeah. It just probably take some practice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
kind of like what Brooke is doing right now.
Right.
Yeah, did she? So my 7-year-old, when COVID hit and we had to do homeschooling, he was just sitting there staring at his computer like this. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm trying to pretend like I'm frozen so she won't ask me a question."
I've done it on Zoom calls.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So I know that you think that it's not interesting, John, but I do want to hear more about your nerdy stuff that you do for ghost hunting. Like what kind of
statistical analysis sounds pretty cool.
Wow.
Man, actually.
Right? I like it.
Plotting data.
Yeah, we love hearing new procedures that we've never heard before.
I like it.
We do a lot of repeat experiments. Our team is more we're research based, so it's we do more physics based experiments and trying to understand the composition of entities, how they work, how they manifest, and so there's a lot of like physics based experiments that we do, and what we've found over the years is that we're finding trends, especially with like the electronic voice phenomenon, and even apparitions, that has essentially led us to specific locations. Wildwood Sanitarium being one of them, why we keep on returning there. And we noticed like differences between like Hinsdale House and Wildwood Sanitarium. We did a weekend trip to both places. The stats weren't matching up. One area was getting apparitions, another area was more voice, like EVP heavy.
Okay.
And the hypothesis that we started developing once we started seeing the trends is looking beyond electronic or EVP, or excuse me, EMF as being an explanation. Instead, we started seeing that there was sound. That they were actually producing a wave, because when we were listening and analyzing the audio that we were receiving back, they were actually the entities that were speaking were actually echoing. So we started recording data of if I was in a room that had good acoustics and we got an EVP, what was the class, what was the frequency of the EVPs between responses, what was the was there an echo that was produced when they spoke, and did these echoes occur within an environment that had good acoustics, and what was the difference in rooms that did not have good acoustics or were cluttered.
Yeah.
And we found that the more rooms that were more open, had good acoustics, the more likely we were to get Class A, Class B EVPs. So what we typically start off now as a procedure is, and our procedures continuously evolve. I mean, we start off with a baseline reading, regardless if we're going back to the location. We started off that way, where we go to every room, every floor, and we just ask 2 questions. We wait 30 seconds between questions. We move on. We immediately review, upload the data, look at the trends, and then we base our experiments and our next strategies off of that.
Wow.
That's all I can say.
That's right.
But everything you said, man.
I'm like fumbling around in the dark. What's your favorite color?
Right.
I'm lucky if I'm actually recording. I'm like, damn it, son of a bitch, it's not even recording this whole time.
No, I love that. Is there somewhere that people can, like, do you guys post the things that you find? Like, do you post your findings anywhere, or are you?
We've posted some of our findings on the Facebook page. We've actually shown some of our findings on our video series, and then we're also working on a large scale project, more of a unity project between a couple other teams along with us, and we're all trying to basically combine forces and get data from all different teams to see if we can identify any further trends, and then proceed from there along with our own data. And if people want any data from us, we're more than happy to share it. And it's not just even, like I said, it's not even just EVPs. We do apparitions. We do complete analysis. We really break it down. Even the most recent apparitions that we've been getting, we've been using long exposure photography. And we've been using that not to just capture an apparition, but actually capture the process in which how an apparition is manifesting. Where's the starting point, and how do they expand?
So do you guys also, is it strictly science, or do you have like people on your team who are psychics, or, you know, like, do the two work together? How does that work? How does an investigation work for you guys when you go?
Each one's different. We still start at, like, and it's been evolving. So, like, for instance, Wildwood Sanitarium, since we're constantly there, we still start off with the baseline. Right. We do have intuitives on our team. We have people that focus on the investigations portion, like, you know, learning about, like, who's there. And then we also have the researchers who are more like physics-based and trying to do experiments. But we all combine forces. It doesn't even really matter what our titles are at this point. We cross train each other. And it's based on whatever hypothesis that we're doing, because rather than, even though we do some residential, we go out, we do try to help people, we're primarily research based. Okay. So our goal is to try to get as much information as possible and be able to send this information out to other teams, and hopefully that they'll be able to utilize it. But it's really depending on what we're looking at the time and what direction the numbers are actually taking us.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I forgot, there was some other part of your question I completely missed. I apologize.
No, you got it. No, you got it. Yeah. I just wanted to know if you worked with, you know, people, you call them intuitive. Is that the same as psychics? Like, is it people who have different abilities?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we use a research approach called Paranormal Puzzle. It involves many moving parts. We're not just looking at you know, just ghosts. Like, for instance, we did an experiment with intuitives where they kept on going up. I was reviewing footage and they were going, "Oh, look at the little boy, look at the little girl," and I'm like, "There's nothing there." So I'm like, "Okay, so let me try something. We're gonna go to this place. We're gonna set up a CCTV monitor." And we've done this at stuff like Wildwood and such as, and we continuously repeat this. CCTV monitor. An intuitive's going to sit there. A person who does not have the abilities is going to sit there. And I go around to each of the rooms and tell any entities that are there, go in front of the camera and I want you to wave. And then I'll go and tell the intuitives, if you see any ghosts, go in front of the camera and do anything, radio us, tell us where it is and what they did.
Right.
If they do that, we'll go to the location and try to record. If they say there's a guy there, there's a male, and we'll see if we get that. But then that questions, okay, if they can see it with their eyes, they're not using an ability, so to speak. That makes me wonder, okay, how are they seeing them? Which then can also lead to, what is the composition of an entity? If I can understand how an intuitive sees them, I can start to begin to understand an entity themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. Because
I've participated in a bunch of his experience with intuitives and stuff, and it's really cool, like the stuff they test and everything. I know that's partly why we love, John's team and everything so much at Wildwood, is because they're in it for the right reasons and they're actually trying to figure out what's going on, not, money or fame or anything like that.
Right.
I think it's that kind of forward thinking and experimentation that's really gonna eventually solve the equation, or like, you know what I mean?
Or figure it out so that we can, pick up some proverbial phone and communicate with the other side, because somebody's going to figure out how it works.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be us, because we just wander around with a freaking flashlight. But
well,
it'll be somebody like John.
Well, no, I'll be completely honest though. All the data doesn't just come from our team, from our stuff. I go to people's websites, YouTube channels, shows, and stuff. Anything that they display, I gather data from that. If they type up stories and post it online, I gather data from that. I look for trends for that. I don't just take it from ours.
Right.
That's very cool. I mean, that's what it's got to be. I don't think there's any science that involves one person. There's always teams and joint research and all kinds of stuff. So that's very cool.
I'm just not great with math. It's not good with math. He said numbers, and I'm like, whoa, numbers.
Dude, no, seriously, I'd rather deal with the dolls.
I wasn't gonna lie. I was thinking that I was like, math scares the shit out of me, man.
But no, I mean, seriously, it's really cool.
It is really cool, and it's one of those things like. Everybody always wonders it. Why can Brooke and her mom walk into a room and see something that is obviously there, but what's different about my eyes or about the conditions that make it so I can't see it? You know what I mean? It's something that's mind-boggling, and I love that you're trying to figure it all out. I think that's really cool.
Well, they twisted on us, Mike Hatcher and Brooke. They decided, because usually we do the experiments, we host that. This time around, there was a point where they twisted on us, and we're like, you know what? We want to do an experiment. We're gonna set something up, and it was very interesting.
Yeah, do tell what happened.
Yes, what happened?
That one I can't reveal because it's actually going to be on the series.
God damn it!
I knew
it. But it was actually very, 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 very clever, and it had very unique results. And I was just like this was freaking awesome. We're going both ways. They twisted or really switched up the experiment. And it was it took a turn. It really did.
It was really cool, yeah. And I kind of believe like anyone can be intuitive, especially if you're ghost hunting all the time and everything. You're basically throwing yourself at it. Right. And at some point you're gonna see stuff and start hearing stuff and everything. I mean, how can you not? I mean, you're kind of throwing yourself into it.
Yeah.
And that pretty much describes my journey to a T.
Yeah, right.
When I first started, I was like, I gotta have all the gadgets. I gotta try to be scientific. Got to be as scientific as possible. Yep. Just like I got to debunk things before I believe it's paranormal. That's the way I thought. And then all of a sudden, I'm starting to feel things and hear things and see things that I can't explain with an EMF detector, or I'm getting voices, but I'm not just getting them on my recorder. I'm hearing them with my own ears, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, your senses definitely open up to stuff.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of investigators, that say the same thing. They started out and they didn't even believe in anything, and then slowly, they started believing, and then they started, feeling the little feelings, or, like spider webs when something they believe is touching them, it all starts to open up kind of.
Right.
Yeah. had the luck of ghost hunting with Michelle Belanger, and we were doing an event for the haunted housewives at the Lake County Poorhouse in Paynesville, and we were just walking around. It was me, Todd, one of our teammates,
And that's about it.
Cool
There we
story,
go.
bro.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's a good story.
Screenshot.
Wouldn't it better if he like froze like this? Like,
See, this is where we all make a dumb face, just like
yeah.
I wonder
Well,
if
he's kind of got like his thumbs up.
Anyways, yeah,
It's been that kind of show tonight, guys.
right. Everybody
Yeah,
just
it's
in
been
and out,
crazy.
whatever. Yeah, I when I was little used to experience stuff a lot, and you know, my mom always tried to make excuses for it, like, oh, you're just tired, that's just your eyes playing tricks on you, you know, whatever. And so I kind of shut it down, and then I started volunteering at Madison Seminary, and you can't ignore paranormal shit there because
Oh yeah.
it's way too much. So it was
Tap
the
you on the
same
back.
thing,
Hello.
right? Like, pay attention to me.
call you out
So-
loud by name, you know.
Right? Yeah. So after a while, that it, you know, all of the things it started with like, oh, it feels weird in this room, you know, whatever, and then it turns into like seeing things, having dreams about the building that end up coming true, you know. I'll be doing the dishes and I'll just think something random, but it ends up being associated with the building and it comes true, you know. You can't try to ignore it when you're surrounded by it all the time. Like, I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
you
mean,
guys
that's
have.
when my ability started. I was 2 years old when I first started communicating with spirits. So, I mean, a lot of it does start as a kid, and then your parents say the classic, like, oh, it's just your imaginary friend, ghosts aren't real, stuff like that. But, I mean, that's right where they cut you off. I mean, then, you know, you grow up, you forget about it and stuff like that. And then you know, have an experience like that and it hits you, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But now, okay, let me ask you this, mom to mom. If your kid comes to you and says, I saw a man in my room, like, how do you handle that?
I've actually had to have that conversation with my nephew. My nephew's 7, and they recently moved to a new apartment and everything, and he says he's been hearing voices and stuff like that. And I mean, I told him, you know, kind of like, you know, they can't hurt you. They're just trying to talk to you. If you don't want to talk to them, just tell them that you don't want to talk to them and you don't, you know, give them permission to touch you or anything like that. And that's kind of like what I've done with him. But he's like a really mature, you know, 7-year-old and everything. And he grew up with us talking about ghosts and stuff around him. And he's been to Wildwood and everything. So, I mean.
Yeah.
I think you tell him
I
that
know, I mean,
the
my
man at
son's
the end of
only
the bed is not
3.
to worry about. It's the monster in the closet.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. But I mean, my son's only 3 and he's nonverbal and everything, but I know he has seen stuff. Like when we, you know, he was really little and stuff, and we were in my parents' house, he would look at this one spot in our bedroom and it would freak him out. Like he would like make this scared face and it would be a certain kind of cry, and he was maybe only a year old.
Wow.
So, like, I know he saw something and would see something. I mean, little kids, when you think about it, their third eyes are so open because they're so new to the world. They haven't had anything to tell them, you know, ghosts aren't real or anything like that when they're that little. So it's like, really puts them out there in the world.
I'm torn because, you know, like, I know that had my mom not told me all those things when I was growing up, that like I could have developed my abilities and whatever. But then at the same time, when my 7-year-old comes out of his room and says, it felt like somebody was holding my hand, but nobody was in there, I'm like, I don't know what to say. because I don't want
Yeah.
him to be scared, you know, so you want to say like, oh, it must have been the wind, or, you know, make up
Yeah.
something for it. So I'm kind of literally just like, anytime he tells me something, which is pretty frequently, I'm just like, oh, that's weird. And then I change the
Yeah,
subject
yeah.
because I don't know
See,
what
that's
to
a good
do.
response. You're not like denying it, but you're just saying, you know.
Or like, did that scare you?
And you kind of do have to base it off the child, that, you know, themselves. It's,
Right.
you know, different with everyone. Like with my nephew, I just tell him like, they can't hurt you, you know, it's, you know, you're safe and everything like that. And he understands. So it's different with every little kid.
Yeah. What happened to him when he was at Wildwood? Did he say anything?
No, not really. He just really, like, it's really weird with Wildwood. Kids love being there. Like my nephew, like, he loves being there. He'll ask to go there with grandpa and stuff. And my son is the same way. Like, I cannot even pull up to the building with him in the car because he will freak out and want to get out of the car to run around and stuff.
Right.
And it's crazy. I mean, like I said, he's nonverbal and everything. So, I mean, I don't know why he wants to be there so bad, but literally, like, when he's there, he's so happy. And it's like he gets so upset when we leave. He gets so mad.
Yeah. Aw, that's cute.
So, John, how did you get started in the paranormal? What's your origin story?
Mine started when I was 4. My first experience was seeing an angel. And then from there, it went into, it started to head into a negative haunting. We had an entity called the Hunter that pretty much tormented my brother and I. There was a boy in the attic by the name of Jonathan that was hiding, and he would always say to me, that was my invisible friend, so to speak, that said that he was hiding from the bad man. A little girl in the hallway that said, help me. And then as it progressed, in my teen years, it became a demonic haunting.
Oh, wow.
So I pretty much got it. And then on top of that, there was some UFO experience to go along with that. So I pretty much had a pretty good, well-rounded 19 years of.
Okay, then.
Nice.
That's quite the origin story.
You've got it all. So how did you get into like the investigating part? Like what you do now?
That evolved over time. Without like really going too far deep into it, it basically, I ended up, because of the haunting, ended up in a complete social outcast. I was the one by myself all the time, and since I was by myself, I was dealing with the haunting by myself. And it's actually funny that you guys were talking about the whole how do you approach your child with this. My parents, my father doesn't believe it. My mother pretended not to believe it, and hey, it's your imagination. I went to religious schools. When I said I saw disappearing people, they went and told their parents. Their parents told them that I was satanic and they should stay away from me.
Naturally.
And then ultimately I ended up going into depression, which brought me into psychiatrist. And I was like, oh, I could tell them anything. Well, I told them that, and boy, yeah.
They didn't take that well.
No, they don't.
They were interested, just interested in a very different way. And then I just started seeing how my brother and we got affected so badly. And I wondered, because I was so alone with my thoughts all the time, how many other people are going through this all the time. I started seeing ghost stories. I started seeing books. When we finally started getting the internet and that started coming up, I started seeing things, and I was just like, you know what? I want to get into this. Ended up seeing the show Ghost Hunters, which then ultimately drew me in. And I was like, wow, people do this stuff. And then as I started seeing how things were progressing, I was like, you know what? There's got to be more to this. Because I'm being told this can't be explained, but I'm seeing patterns.
Yeah.
So that's when it just started to evolve. It went into, from one team, which was called the TPO squad, which one rule, never put the in the first part of your name, because now it's the Paranormal Officer Squad. Then it went to Paranormal Security Department, and now it became evolved into the Team as it is today, which is the final mission of the team you and I research.
Nice.
Okay.
That's
I
really
love
cool.
that. I love it because it's so personal for you.
Mhm.
So I feel like when it's personal, it makes you work 10 times harder, than somebody who's just in it for fun. You're in it for personal reasons. Like you want to
Mhm.
know what the fuck's going on. Like your entire life has been affected by it. So now you get to figure out why and help people. I like
Well,
that.
it goes even beyond that. Since pretty much I would stay outside of society, I pretty much just watched and observed because I never felt like I basically tried to study society.
Mhm.
And I saw other people who were going through it and how they were being treated, whether they were intuitive or going through a haunting, and ultimately how everyone was being treated, and seeing the differences in beliefs and how everyone was fighting essentially over the same thing, just different beliefs. And it's just like,
Mhm.
you know what, I got to find the answer to end this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a
I
good
love
mission.
that. Yeah, it is. It
I
is.
mean, besides the demonic manifestation at the end of your haunting issues, we have a pretty close to the same kind of journey that we started on. We grew up in a house that was haunted, started being tormented by a grumpy ghost, or two teenage ghosts that were just trying. They seemed frustrated that they couldn't get the message across, but it just was tormenting the hell out of my younger brother, and it was mostly just fear of the unknown. Like he couldn't comprehend what we were seeing.
Mhm.
And I've battled depression my whole life. I felt outside of things, and just like you, I started reading books. And almost exactly like you said, I watched Ghost Hunters like much later in my almost like adulthood, and I'm like, oh crap, you can do this. You can actually go and like investigate this at places, and it was kind of the same progression. So I think there's probably a lot of people that are in the same group as us.
Right.
It
For sure.
just and it was a personal mission at first, and now I like sharing it with people, and there's so many people with the same interests. It's really cool.
It's ultimately what leads me back to the Wildwood Sanitarium. I mean, I started this when I was 16, and I might be at a location once or twice. Wildwood Sanitarium is the only location that I've been there like a million times. Um, there's just so much connection to it, besides it
Yeah.
being like almost like a place of healing.
Yeah.
The entities there are just phenomenal, and they're so cooperative.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Your Wildwood is our Madison, I think.
Yeah. I don't think there's any I said it at the beginning of the show. I don't think that there's any coincidences. You were brought there for a reason, and I feel like these buildings like bring in who they need. It's crazy how things work out, but you go to any location, you talk to the volunteers, or you might as well be a volunteer, John. You are there all the time. You talk to the volunteers and the staff and the owners, and it's just like it seems like the stars just totally align, and that the building calls them in there. And it sounds like you're in the right place.
Oh yeah, we knew like as soon as we met his team and everything that they were meant to be a Wildwood and they were gonna stick around. Because before we met John and stuff, like we were trying to find people to volunteer to help us run public ghost hunts and stuff like that. And all the people that we interviewed and talked to and stuff, it was awful. I mean, it was so bad. It was really bad. Like, I mean, we had people show up, they reeked like weed. They like didn't even know what the hell was going on, but they ran some like rinky dink,
Yeah.
club, from wherever. It didn't work out. And then as soon as we met John and them, like we knew the house wanted them, like it was meant to be and
Right.
everything.
Exactly.
And it just so happened, like the first time we met them and everything, my catcher was there filming their documentary,
Yeah.
and it just like all intermingled,
Yeah. It's so cool. I love how that stuff works out.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh,
Good
shit.
stuff.
It's 10
What?
o'clock, Goose.
It is? Oh shit. Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah, it is. Wow.
Holy dinosaurs.
Yeah. I went quick.
Time
Well,
flies when you're having fun.
First
man.
of all, to everybody watching, still, I want to apologize for all the plethora of the usual technical issues.
You
we
should
had
be used to
tonight.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it should be called the Technical Issue Paranormal Show. But it's the internet. I mean, everybody knows how the interwebs are up and down constantly all the time. So, anyways, I also want to thank Brooke and John for being on. John, thank you for tuning in or hopping on the show when you could. We appreciate you being on. Just in the short amount of time we had you on, it was amazing to talk to you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Brooke, I hope to meet you guys both sometime soon. Wildwood,
FC Icon.
yeah, FC Icon, yeah. Or I mean, obviously, our team has got to get up to Wildwood Sanatorium, like
definitely.
as soon as possible.
I'm down.
So it's yeah.
Actually, I'll be there next month.
Would you just shut up?
Hurry!
Denise,
she's not even
you know,
on.
it used to be funny, Denise, but you're going to 15,000 places. So
No.
Ray and I are just sitting here going. No, we're not saying we want to go. It's just that you're showing us up,
Right.
and making us jealous. Actually,
yeah, just a little.
Yeah, I'm doing the Wildwood Hinsdale tour next month. So
okay.
yeah, I'm excited.
That's the best way to do it, man. Go
Right?
to
They're so
Hinsdale
close
at night
to each
and come to
other.
our house tonight. Yep.
Yeah.
Are they pretty close?
They're
to
like
each other?
20 minutes away.
Yeah, 20 minutes apart.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so it was cool because the first time I went, we did Wildwood, spent the night there, and then we had time before we went to Hinsdale, so we drove up to Buffalo to go see Joe Piori's shop, Paranormal Oddities. So we checked that out.
How far away was that from?
It's about an hour, I think.
Yeah, it's about an hour.
Yeah,
that's not far.
It's worth a drive.
Yeah. Exactly. It was
honestly the best thing to do, which a lot of teams do, is they'll rent out one house one night, and then during the day, the next day, they'll go to the antique mall in Salmaker. Because that place you can get lost in. I mean, that place is crazy, and they'll do that and stuff. Then they'll go to the next place. So
nice.
Very cool. That sounds like a plan. How about it, Mike?
Yep.
You gonna do it?
Yep.
Sweet. Should we invite Denise? Because she
I already know I'm not.
No,
invited.
Denise has already been there 15,000 times. But of course, we always invite Denise. It's just a given, actually.
I'll totally go. You know what? Those places are awesome, both of them.
Or she invites herself.
I do.
Like I said, Denise is always a given if she wants to go anywhere, right?
Right.
With us.
Yeah. She'd be more likely to actually be able to go with us than our own team. So
yeah,
that's just almost impossible sometimes to get everybody on the team at one spot at one time.
Oh
yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you again, Brooke and John, for being on the show. Awesome time.
Yeah.
Crypto heads, thank you so much. But real quick, before we go, we actually have planned guests next week.
So what?
Yeah, actually worked ahead.
I'm intrigued.
We got Satori Halls and Cody Ray Desbiens, I think is how you pronounce his name, from the Paranormal Couples Haunted Museum. It's a traveling haunted object exhibition.
It's very cool.
So that should be really cool. Look forward to talking to them. And then July 22nd, we got some folks from Gateway Paranormal. We got Steve Brote, possibly Adam Kimmel, even though he hasn't really answered if he's going to be on the show or not. But all kinds of bunch of people that are going to be at FC Icon.
Which happens to be the Masked Media.
Yes, Project Masked Media, which is their new
we
project.
did get them on the show. Remember when they first came
Boom.
out? We were like, we got to get them on the show.
Yeah, yep.
Now they're on the show.
We just need Warner then. We need Matt Warner. But I don't know if he's coming to FCI or not.
We don't need Juana.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Yeah, he's wicked.
He's wicked. Wicked Juana.
Right. But all right, crypto heads. It's enough rambling from me. Denise, we'll see you next week. Heisenberg, we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Crypto heads, have a good weekend.
Bye.
We'll spook you later.
Bye.
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 What?